This conference will now be recorded.
House banks. We were talking about basic information about house bank in the last session. Now we understood that every bank account that we operate with our organization will be treated or will be created as a house bank in the SAP system before we actually use the bank GL accounts. Now the bank accounts operated by the company are treated as house banks in SAP. Let's say if you're talking about any of your client or any of your company, for example, DEIN as our company, if you have assuming three bank accounts for DEIN company, in short, Dell India, these three bank accounts are treated as house banks in SAP. Before you start using the bank accounts for any GL posting, you must ensure the house bank is set up. Based on the house bank only, we will have to create the GL accounts, and based on the house bank GL account mapping, we will have to start using the bank GL accounts for any transaction posting. Straight away, we are not supposed to pass any entries in the bank account without setting up house bank functionality. Now, to do the house bank setup, what information we actually require is what let's try to understand. Assuming you have a request, now this house bank request is of two types. One is during your project implementation, whatever the bank accounts that your client has as on that date. Let's say you're implementing project in current month. As on current month, whatever the bank accounts your client is having, they will share all these bank account details with you. These house banks you will be creating as part of your initial requirement or initial implementation. Once your project is gone live, later on your client might open additional bank accounts. There is no rule that bank account is opened only at once. Companies might open different bank accounts at any given point of time. Let's say they have opened another bank account later on after the go live of the project. At that time, they will be asking you to create another house bank. For this, additional house bank creation after the project go live is given as a support ticket. Right? The creation of a new house bank is treated as a support ticket. You can mention that you got or you worked on a ticket called house bank creation. And when you're explaining about house bank creation support ticket, you should not only talk about bank creation, you should talk about various other functionalities. Okay. Now, we understood that house bank is nothing but the bank account operated by an organization. Now, for us to create the house bank in the system, you need all the bank account information. What kind of a bank account information we need to set up the house bank? Normally, when you open any bank account, what kind of information will be there from the bank side? Let's say that your company has opened a bank account, or for an example, you opened a bank account with a bank. Once your account has been created in the bank, you will have certain information related to your bank account. Whatever the information you have related to your bank account, everything we have to list out. And this information you need to make it as a template, which is nothing but house bank template. You have something called house bank template or bank master template. We call it as either house bank template or bank master template. You will have to prepare this template, share this template with the client, either in the initial stage of the project or after the go live of the project. As part of your support activity, you will have this template with you. You will have to share this template with your client. Based on this template, they will fill up the information and share it back with you. Considering this house bank template or bank master template, you will set up the house bank in the system. Because this is not something a general configuration that you do. This is the actual bank account information of an organization you're setting up. First, let us check what kind of information we need in order to create a bank account. Before that, if you talk about a bank account, what information will be available? First thing is your bank name will be there. Next, bank account number will be there. And you will also have account currency, bank branch, bank branch address, bank IFSC code, and account holder name. Any other information regarding the bank account that you get from bank side? Any other details do we get, or this is sufficient? Anyone?
Shift code, amount call,
Swift code. Okay. What else?
Account ID, sir.
yeah, amount, amount column.
Account ID will not be there. Account ID is your SAP specific. We are listing out the information related to bank specific.
Okay,
What
sir.
is it? Amount?
Available amount, sir.
Amount column.
No, that will not be there. That is again in SAP. We are not writing any information from SAP. We are writing the information from bank only.
CIF number.
What is it?
CIF number.
EIF.
C sir. CIF.
What is this PIF number? Any full form for it?
Customer information. CIF sir.
IBAN number.
CIF. Customer
Is this
yes sir.
IBAN number? Okay.
Account type, sir, saving or current account.
Account type? Okay.
OD limit.
Opening date.
The limit, account opening date. Okay. That's it.
Branch code.
That is nothing but your IFSC code. Okay, assume that this is what the information that you require, or this is the information that you will be getting from bank side. Now, let's assume that we are opening the bank account in, let's say, HDFC. Bank name, let's put as HDFC Bank, bank account number. So you have to be very careful while writing the bank account number. Let's say I am taking some 10 digits or 8 digits bank account number. Normally your bank account contains how many digits? 10 or more than 10?
More than 10.
So I am taking 13 digits. I'm taking 13 digits bank account number. You have to be very careful with the number that you are giving. Based on this bank account number only, later on we will be able to perform bank reconciliation statement. So just like that, don't put any number that comes in your mind like fancy numbers and all. Put some random number. Account currency, your bank account should have only one currency. Let's say this account currency is INR. If your company wants to operate in foreign currency also, they will be opening another bank account with maybe some dollar account or any other currency. But basically your company will have one account with local currency, which is INR, additional accounts with foreign currencies. Assuming this is your INR or local currency bank account, bank branch, I will say high tech city, bank address, I'll say street 10, high tech city, Hyderabad. Bank IFSC code, I'll put HDFC. Okay, some number I'm giving. These are all the dummy numbers I'm taking. Account holder name, I'll say Dell India Dell India Private Limited. This is the account holder name. Swift code, assuming that currently you don't have any Swift code, this we will talk about later on. You have no Swift code as of now. You have no CIN number as of now. No IBAN number as of now. Account type, let me put current. OD limit, currently I'm not taking anything. Account opening date, let's say 1st April 2023. This is your account opening date, assuming this is the information that you have regarding your bank account. Now this bank account information is available with every client of all their bank accounts that they are operating. Now as a consultant, if you have to set up, if you have to work on house banks or banking module, first thing that you will have to do is set up your organization bank account information as house bank. In order to set up your organization bank details as house bank, you need to do the configuration. House bank is the part of configuration. Let me write one more point. House bank setup in SAP. For us to set up house bank in SAP, first you need to create house bank. T code for house bank, any idea?
512_HBank.
So straight away, let me put FI12. If I put FI12, it is asking me to display view company codes. In this, if we select our company code DEIN, pick your company code, click on house banks. If you click on house bank, it is telling there are no entries. It is telling there are no entries. If you click on new entries here, if you click on new entries, these are the options that are available on the house bank setup. Now these options or this information is what you need to gather from your client before you set up a house bank in SAP. In short, tomorrow if you are asked a question, what information do you need to create a house bank, or how do you need or how do you set up a house bank? When somebody is asking you how do you set up a house bank, easily you can tell you will be setting up a house bank using FI12 transaction, and you need bank related information. Now you may get another question, who will give you the bank account information? How do you get the bank details? Whose bank do you create as house bank? Is it your client house bank or your client customer or vendor house bank? Whose bank will be created as house bank? Your client bank or client customer vendor bank?
Clients.
Only the client bank information is created as house bank. Now if I put something here, these are some mandatory information. I'll put one here, India here. I'll click on create. Now here what information it is asking? It is asking for your company code in which you want to set up the house bank. It's asking for the house bank, some identification name for the house bank, bank country in which you are holding this account. Next, bank key. This is nothing but your bank IFSC code. After that, the communication contact number of the bank personnel, address of the bank. Apart from this, there is no other information that system is asking for house bank creation. House bank is nothing but the name of the bank in which your account is opened, name of the bank in which your account is operated. Once you create the house bank, you need to create the details of the account that you are operating in that particular bank. That detailed accounts that you are operating in a particular bank we treat as bank accounts. Now the way you create a house bank in ECC and the way you create house bank in S4HANA are slightly different. The way you create a house bank in ECC, the way you create a house bank in S4HANA are slightly different. First, what I will do, I will create a house bank in ECC system, then we will come back to S4HANA to check, to understand how configuration is done in both the systems. So I am logging off from S4HANA system. Let me log into ECC. This is one of the questions in your interview when it comes to changes from ECC to S4HANA. So you must talk about house bank changes from ECC to S4HANA. All the passwords are locked. To create a house bank, it is the same transaction code FI12 in ECC. Do we have any company code in ECC?
GM10.
GM10?
Yes.
Okay. So we are on the screen FI12 to create the house bank on ECC system. Here what you do, you will be clicking on new entries. Once you click on new entries, it is asking you to give the house bank. House bank, if you see, this is a 5-digit alphanumeric key. For every bank account, you will be giving a unique identification code, which is called as house bank. Now we are trying to create a bank account related to, we log off from this. We are trying to create a bank account related to HDFC account. Since we are trying to create a HDFC account, here you will have to put some identification code related to HDFC. How you will be creating it is your choice, but whatever the way that you are creating must have a logic. This logic will be documented. It's not that for HDFC you will use one logic, for additional bank you will use another logic. That is not the way. You need to have a logic. Let's say whatever the bank account that you have, the same bank account you are using as house bank. If it is HDFC, I'll put as HDFC only. Next one, bank country. In which account, in which country this HDFC bank account is operated? This is operated in India. I'll put country code as India. Next one, bank key. Bank key is nothing but IFSC code of your HDFC bank. Let's say we assumed this is our HDFC bank IFSC code. I'll take this and I'll put this as IFSC code. Not pasted. Copy. Paste. After giving house bank, country and bank key, let me click on create option. Now I want to create this house bank. The moment you click on create, it is asking you to input the bank address, for which it is asking a bank name. You need HDFC bank. Region, you have given this as India. In India, where is this HDFC bank? Because you have so many HDFC banks in India, which HDFC bank in India you are talking about, you need to mention here. I'll select Hyderabad, so I'll select 36 Telangana. Next one, street. I'll put something like street 10, Madhapur. City, I'll write Hyderabad. Bank branch, I'll put High-Tech City. If you have SWIFT code, you can put that SWIFT code here. If you have bank number, which is your international bank account number, you can put. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll click on enter. Once you click on enter, if I click on address here, whatever the address that I have given on the top is appearing at the bottom. Now let me click on save. This is the first level of information that you are creating for your house bank. Here in short, we have given the house bank name, bank address, bank IFSC code. Right? Bank name, bank address and bank IFSC code. So far we have not given any information about bank account. It is only about bank information we have given. In short, in which bank, in which branch you have the account. In which bank and in which branch you have the account, that information is what you have given in house bank. Now in this bank, which is HDFC High-Tech City branch, how many accounts you are operating? You may be operating in the same branch a single account. You may be operating multiple bank accounts in the same branch. All the bank accounts that are operated in the HDFC High-Tech City branch will be treated as bank accounts. Once you create the house bank, immediately on the same screen on the left hand side you will find bank account. Double click on bank account. If you double click on bank account, you will find a new entries here. Click on new entry. Now by default this is giving you the bank account in HDFC, and within HDFC what is this account number. You may be holding multiple accounts within the same branch. So I'll say HDFC 1. I'll say HDFC 1. Description I'll put HDFC current account. I'll put INR. High-Tech City. Something like this, I'll put one description. In the description, I am ensuring I am giving the nature of account, which is your HDFC current account, account currency INR, and then account branch, High-Tech City. After that, you have bank account number. You must input the account number of your HDFC current account. let's say this is some bank account number. This bank account number you will receive it from your client. Next one, control key, which we will not be using. Alternative account number, in case if you want to mask the bank account number, you don't want your users and all to see the bank account number. In such case, you will be mentioning alternative account number. Okay, this is used only for the masking purpose. Normally we don't mask it, we will put the original account number here. Next one, your account currency. This bank account is operated in INR currency. Put INR here. Next one, the GL account. GL account in the house bank is always your bank main account. We assumed for any house bank we have to use main account sub account concept. To use main account sub account concept, for every bank you have to allot 10 account numbers starting from 0 till 9. If you take the 10 account numbers allotment for every bank, you need to ensure the account number ending with 0 is assigned here. Strictly GL account number of the bank ending with 0 must be assigned here. So what I will do, let me select any one bank account ending with 0. Enter. So currently I am taking this account. I am not creating any GL account. I am taking one account which is ending with 0. We will create this bank account for our S4HANA system. But ensure your bank account must be bank main account ending with 0. The last digit is what you have to focus on. This must be ending with 0. If you're assigning any account apart from ending with 0, then it is wrong. Put this information, click on save.
Sir, in real time, that consultant used to create bank account or the client used to create bank account, sir?
Two things. In ECC, it is purely by consultant. Okay, now data was saved. Now two things I have created here. Point number one, I have created house bank. Point number two, I have created account ID. Now anybody noticed how many times I got TR request here? While saving, how many times I got the TR request? One time or two times?
One time.
Now let me do one more time. Notice now, I'll go to FI12. I'll put company code. I'll add a new entry. I'm giving test information now. Test India. I'll put test 123. I'll click on create. Test. I'll click on continue. Let me click on save. Now you got a TR request. Is this configuration or master data? If you get a TR request like this, is this called as a config or master data?
Config.
If you get this request, this is called as a configuration. Who will do the configuration? End user or consultant?
Consultant.
Consultant. In ECC, point number one, you are creating house bank. This is configuration, correct? Point number one, you created a house bank, which is your configuration. Let me save this. Now I will come back. I'll come out of this screen. I'll now try to create account ID. I'll go to the house bank, select the company code. I'll pick this house bank, which is test. In this test house bank, I want to add an account. Click on bank account. Here you have an option called new interest. Notice here in the house banks, you have an option called new entries in ECC system. Click on new entries here. I'll put test 1, bank account number 1234. This is dummy information I'm creating. INR, any one bank GL account number. Ignore the account number that I'm assigning here. Just look at that you have to assign account number ending with 0. That's it. Not creating bank accounts additionally. Is this a config or master data?
Configure.
This is configuration. Now we are trying to create account ID. This account ID is also configuration in ECC. Okay. Transport IBAN, no, we are not using IBAN currently. Now house bank and account ID both are created in ECC. Third one that you need to create is bank master. After creating house bank and then account ID, you need to create bank master. For creating bank master, anybody know the transaction code? Where do you create bank master? Okay, this is created in FI01. Go to FI01. Here you have to create the bank master. You need to give bank country as India and bank key as test1234, whatever you have given in your house bank configuration. Here I'll put test1234 followed by all the other detailed bank account information. Click on save. Is this giving any TR or it is directly saved? You got any TR here? It got directly saved. When it is getting directly saved, is this a configuration or master data?
Master data.
This is master data. Next one I'll put bank master. This is your master data. These are the 3 steps that you have to follow in ECC for creating a house bank. Now the same test house bank, let us create in S4HANA. Before we create our actual house bank, let us do some dummy test bank creations. Now I'll come out of clear with this 3 steps that we did in ECC. Screens, whether it is config, whether it is master data, is it clear?
Yes.
Now let me show you this from the easy access. If you want to create the bank accounts from your easy access using the easy access path, you need to go to accounting here. From easy access, if you open accounting, go to financial accounting. In financial accounting, you will find banks. In the bank, you will have master data. Here you will have bank master record. In this, you have only one thing called bank master record FI01 create. Anything you have related to house bank account ID here? In ECC, you have only house bank master creation, not house bank, not account ID. You have only FI01, which is the third step in the ECC as end user activity because that is your master data. First one house bank, second one account ID we've mentioned as configuration. Any configuration is performed by the consultant. Now let me come out of this, or I log into S4HANA now. We are on S4HANA 1909 currently. Later on I will show how house banks are created in 2020 and 2021 versions. Currently we are focusing on S4HANA 1909 version. Here what I'll do, I'll create the same thing. If I want to create a house bank, your company code DEIN, select this, click on house bank. Here you have new entries option, click on new entries. I'll put test India, test 1 2 3 4, click on create, test, I'll click on save. In S4HANA, house bank creation, is it configuration or master data?
Configuration.
Configuration.
This is configuration. Now I'll put in S4HANA. Point number 1, same thing, house bank. We have seen this is configuration. Let me save this. Now house bank is configured. Next one is to create account ID. To create the account ID, let me come back, because if you are on the same screen, if it is a configuration, you will not get the TR once again. When you are on the same screen, if you save it multiple times, only first time TR will come. From second time onwards, it will directly get saved on the same TR. So it will give you a prompt only when you revisit the same transaction. Otherwise, the same TR which is used previously for the same transaction will be utilized. So you will not understand whether it is a config or it is master data. Unless you are sure, always make sure you come out and then reopen the same screen. If I want to select your company code DEIN, click on house bank. You have test house bank. In this you need to create the account information, for which double click on bank accounts. If you double click on bank accounts, you are getting an option called read access only. Okay, click on continue. When you click on continue, do you have new entries option here?
No.
In S4HANA, there is no option to create bank account as new entries, but instead you have an option called create a bank account. You have an option called create bank account. Let me click on this create bank account. If I click on this create bank account, a web page is opened. Okay, a web page is opened in which it is asking us to fill up a form. Now let me fill this up. Account opening date, any date you can pick. Company code, this is your DEIN. Account holder, this is your, as of now I'll put only test. Later on you will be giving us the company name. Next one, bank country is India. Bank key is whatever you have created in your house bank. If you go back, in house bank we have given test 1 2 3 4. The same thing you have to give as account ID. Only then this will be tagged under that house bank. Now let me press enter. If you press enter, this is what information it is reading. Next, currency. Account currency is INR. IBAN number currently we are not using. Account number, put the actual bank account number. Next one, bank control key, we don't use it. Account description, let's say test current account. Next one, account type, nature of account, what kind of account is this? Open the account type drop down. This is a current account, select 02. Enter. And if you come down, there is something called bank details, city, postal box, all this information. Currently it is blank. After giving this information, which is your bank general data, after giving bank general data, the immediate next tab you have something called house bank account connectivity. Click on this house bank account connectivity. If you click on this house bank account connectivity, you have no information, but you have an option called add here. Click on add. When you click on add, you will get a screen like this. This is your house company code DEIN, house bank, which is coming from here. Your house bank is coming a test, and you need to create an account ID, bank account. I'll put test 1. That's all. You just need to put a bank account ID. Down below, you need to mention the GL account number. You need to ensure the GL account number is given. Click on company code, search. You'll get the list of bank accounts. You need to assign one bank account here. Let me scroll down to pick different bank accounts. I'm using some test account now, not using the original account, because we will use the original account for the actual house bank. I'll take this account. It has to be ending with 0. Let me take, if you have ending with 0 here. Okay, you must ensure your bank account is taken ending with 0. After that, you are done. You are good to save this. Let me click on save. Now, do you get any TR request here, or it is saved directly?
Directly saved.
It is directly saved. Anything which is getting saved directly, is it called as master data or configuration data?
Master data.
This is now your master data. Second step in your S4HANA, what you did is the same thing, account ID. But this account ID is not part of configuration. This is part of master data. Third one, we created bank master using FI01. Same thing we will do here. Now we created account ID in a web page. Now if I double click on bank accounts here, it is not reflecting. Let me come back and reopen the screen to check if the account ID is updated here or not. Let me come back. I'll go to FI12 once again. Select the company code DEIN. Select the company code, click on house bank. You have test house bank, double click on bank accounts. Read only access, accept this. Now if you see the accounts information, is this getting added here automatically? Whatever we created here on the web page, this is your SAP NetWeaver web page. On this page, whatever you created as account ID, is this updated on your SAP screen under house bank?
Sir.
Correct? Now in S4HANA, your house bank is configuration, account ID is master data. Third one, what we created is bank master. We used FI01 for bank master in ECC. Same thing you will be using in S4HANA also. Bank country you will be giving, bank key you will give, and it is giving an information bank IN test 1234 already exist. But this information you did not get on your, let me display this first, enter. This message, while trying to create the bank master, do we get this message in ECC, or it allowed us to create? In
Allowed us
ECC
to.
it allowed us to create, but in S4HANA it is telling this is already existing, because in ECC your account ID was part of configuration. In S4HANA your account ID was part of master data. Correct? In S4HANA your account ID is part of master data. That is why when you create account ID, the bank account or bank address or bank master is auto created. Since in ECC it is master data, you have to create this separately. Through your bank house bank and through your account ID, your bank address will not get copied in ECC. That has to be separately created as bank master. If you don't create this FI01 as bank master, when you open your house bank FI12, on any bank, if you take, let's say same thing, DEIN. If you go to address, you see this address information, only test appearing, correct? Now, if you wanted to modify the bank address, you will not be modifying this through FI12. Currently, if you see, what is the address information? Only test. Do you have any street, city, bank branch, or they are blank? They are blank. Now, this bank address is updated against company code, house bank, country, bank key. These are the four options. If you go to bank master screen, if you go to FI01 where you create the bank master, it is asking your bank country and bank key. If you come to house bank, you will see bank country and you will also see the bank key on your house bank screen. This is your bank country, this is your bank key. Against this key combination, bank key and bank country combination, you will be updating bank address. Now at this combination, I am going to update the detailed bank address. I'll come back. Create bank master, bank key and bank country, enter. So let me go to change mode. This is already available. I'll enter the change mode. I'll update the data here. So 36 street 08, city I'll say Hyderabad, branch I'll tell Madhapur. This is what the address I am updating. Now I'll click on save. When I click on save here, if I go to my house bank FI12, this address should reflect there automatically. Let me open this. House bank. Currently this is not updating because I did not refresh the screen, which means I need to go out and then re-enter so that the updated data will be reflected here. /n FI12 once again, position, select your bank, double click on house bank. If you go to address, now do you see the address is updated automatically on your configuration screen? Correct? We did not do any configuration for this. Instead, what we did, we only created bank master FI01, which is automatically updating address of your house bank. Agree? Clear till here? Any questions? Okay. Now I'll go to easy access. Now I open accounting in this easy access. In the accounting, financial accounting, in this banks, inside the bank I'll go to master data. In this master data, point number 1, you have bank master. This bank master is common between your ECC and S4HANA. FI01, all these options are available in ECC. Additionally, you will get another thing called house bank and house bank accounts. Select this. If you select this, you have an option called FI12 underscore H bank. You have an option called FI12 underscore H bank. Manage house bank. Let me double click on this FI12 underscore H bank. If I double click on this, this is giving me an option to pick my company code. I'll pick DEIN. Enter. If I click on this, let me click on new entry. House bank, I'll put test 1. India, I'll put test 0000. Enter. Let me click on create. This I'll put test 0000. Let me click on save here. Is this asking for TR?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Now house bank creation is a configuration or master data in S4HANA system.
Configuration.
House bank creation is a configuration. Enter this. Now let me come back. So from your FI12 H bank, what you are doing house bank creation, which is configuration. Second one is your manage house bank and bank accounts. Let me double click on this. House bank, we understood, this is a configuration. Next one, account ID. Double click on this FI12. From here, if I select this, company code is DEIN. Select this, select the house bank, select test 1, double click on bank accounts, read access only, and it's asking you to select one screen here, create bank account. Click on this. When you click on this, this is taking you to a web page again. On this web page, whatever the information you fill, this information will be taken as your account ID information. This is your master data. This is your master data. I'm not creating it once again. I'm just closing this. When you save this, the account ID will be added here automatically. This account ID in S4HANA system is master data. Bank master is again a master data. Now, from the configuration point of view, are there any changes from this Did you find any changes from config point of view, setup point of view? You have 3 steps. Whatever you're doing in ECC, the same thing you're doing in S4HANA, but the only change is one thing is updated from configuration to master data. Apart from that, there is no change. The information that you hold about a bank account is the same for your ECC and for your S4HANA, but the way you create an ECC is different. The way you create an S4HANA is different. In ECC, what you will do as a consultant, you will be creating house bank, account ID, and then bank master. But in S4HANA system, as a consultant, you will only create house bank, and the account ID can be created by the end user. Account ID will be created by the end user in S4HANA system. And bank master is anyways master data. Either you can create or end user can also create this. If they want to update the bank address, if they want to add any additional bank information, bank name, bank address, this bank master will be used. Majorly, you will be using this bank master to update the bank account information related to your customers and your vendors. Okay, majorly we will be using this to update the bank information of your customer and vendor, because your customer bank account details, your vendor bank account details are not created as house bank. Am I correct? We don't set up house bank for customer vendor bank account, but you will be receiving, you will be making payments from customer and then vendors. In order to do this customer vendor bank payments, let me show you one more screen here. What is a transaction code to create customer or vendor?
BP. FH01.
BP. I'll go to BP, business partner. Let me search something. I got this. Now, if you select any business partner, your business partner can be customer, your business partner can be vendor also. In this, if you go to payment transaction tab, if you go to payment transaction tab, it is asking you to input your vendor bank account information. If you want to initiate a payment from your side to your vendor or to your supplier, you need to ensure that this bank account has valid information in your system. Let's say your vendor is operating a bank account in State Bank of India. So what you will do, you will put one identification as 01, country as India. If it is State Bank, if it is Citibank, let's say I'll put City 8765. If I press enter, it is asking us to input the data like this. It is asking us to input the data like this. Now, if I take this combination, let me take this combination and search for bank master here, India, and then this one. This is blocked, it is telling, let me come out of this. Enter. What is the message you are getting? Is this bank key available, or it says it does not exist?
Does not exist.
It says this does not exist. Now, if I go to BP screen once again, BP, identification, country, some code. If I hit enter, this is blocked here. Let me come out of this. Now it is giving a pop-up message here. From your business partner, is it giving a pop-up message? Now this pop-up message is the screen of FI01. So it will look whether with this combination if there is any bank key already available in the system. If yes, it will accept. If it is not available, it will give a pop-up screen asking you to update the bank information. This bank account or this bank information you need to type here. Bank name, city, bank branch and all you have to update, and then you need to save it. When you save it, two things will get updated. Bank information for your vendor will get updated. Bank key will also get updated in the bank master. Normally what we will do, all the possible bank accounts wherever you have, you will be giving this to the bank master team. For updating the banking, there will be a different team. Normally the master data team who is responsible for creating all the masters will take care of this bank master activity also, because this is one of the sensitive information. If somebody is changing the information, you may end up initiating payments incorrectly, or your payments may not be accepted by the bank. Your bank country, bank key combination information cannot be duplicated. This information cannot be duplicated. This information is not supposed to be edited. I'm closing this information. Now another point, do we have any option to create house banks using LTMC?
Yes, sir.
Let's open LTMC. Let me create any new project. Create. Now initially you have something called bank. Let me select this bank. Okay. Let us download this bank template. Open. Allow. Enable editing. This is your bank master. In this bank master, is it talking anywhere about house bank and account ID? Do you find house bank account ID information anywhere?
No, sir.
What is this out of these three that we have listed? What is this? What is that LTMC? Point number 1, 2, 3.
Bank master.
This LTMC is for point number 3, which is your bank master. FI01, whatever we are creating manually, this FI01 is your bank master here. Let me close this. Now I'll go back. This is not what we are looking for. We are looking for house bank creation. Let me search here house bank. No data available. Let me search only with bank. With bank, there are 4 rows. 3 we are able to see. Last one is a supplier bank and customer bank. You have only bank, you have bank account balance. In short, can we create house bank and account ID with LTMC?
No, sir.
House bank is a configuration, cannot be created with LTMC. Account ID is a master data, cannot be created with LTMC. Right? Bank master is a master data, this can be created with LTMC. Now all these points, whatever you are seeing, you have to slowly understand. In case if somebody is asking you in your interview, or if you are working on this house bank and all set up in your project, you have to have the clear understanding what you need to do, because it is clearly dependent on which system you are working on. If you are working on ECC, the way you set up is different. If you are working on S4HANA, depending on the version, the way you set up may be slightly different. Clear? Now, for us to create this house bank, you need the information from your client. When you need the information from your client, you need to share a template with them, which is called as house bank or bank master template. We call it as house bank template or bank master template, in which what you are going to do is you will open FI12. When you open FI12, if you select your company code, whatever the company code you have, DEIN, click on house bank, add a new entry. Whatever the fields you have, with these fields that are needed to create a house bank, you have to make a template. Let's say house bank template. If somebody is asking you how do you create house bank, you must talk about this house bank template. Without the template, you will not be creating, because in this template your client will provide the data of their bank accounts to you. So as a consultant, you must prepare this template, share it with your client in any project. If you are in support project, there may be already templates available, but if you are in the implementation project, you have to prepare a template, or you will get the predefined templates of previous projects. But as a consultant, it is your responsibility to share this house bank template with your client. It has to go to the client from your side. To create a house bank, what information is needed? Company code, house bank, and then country. Put company code, house bank, country. What else we are giving? You are clicking on create. You are giving bank key. Put bank key. After bank key, we clicked on create option. When you click on create, you have to update this address. This address is currently not coming. So this address you will give us. This is your house bank template. Next one you will give us bank address template also, or in the same thing, in the same sheet, you will update bank address at the end. After this, to create the bank account, let me come back. Maintain bank account. In this maintain bank account or in this bank account ID creation, whatever the fields that are there which are mandatory to be created, only those fields you will be updating in the template, not all the fields you will be taking. You will not take all the fields, you will take only the fields that are relevant for your account ID creation. Let's say account opening date, company code is already there, country is already there, account holder name you need. All these fields you will have to fill. Opening date, account opening date, account holder name. Next, account currency, IBAN number, account number, account currency, IBAN, account number, account description, account type. You put account description, account type. That's it here. Next one, in the house bank account connectivity, you have given account ID and then the GL account number. House bank account ID and then GL. This information, let's say, is what you have to prepare as a template. When you talk about a template, you will be creating one Excel sheet with all this information along with some test data. Because if you are a consultant or if I'm a consultant, I'm sending this information to you to update the bank account. When you look at the Excel sheet, you may not understand what is company code, what is house bank, what is country, bank key. You may understand, you may not understand. What I need to do, I need to put a sample record here. I will update one sample record like company code is DEIN. House bank, if it is HDFC, I'll put as HDFC. Bank country India. Bank key HDFC 1234. Account opening date, let's say 3/6/2023. Account holder name Dell India Private Limited. Account currency INR. IBAN, if it is applicable, you put, or else you leave it blank. Account number. Account description, let's say current account, whatever you want. Account type is again current. House bank ID, I'll say HDFC1. GL account. Your client may be aware of the GL account, he may not be aware of the GL account. If it is a new project, GL account will be created by us and we will be sharing the GL list. Accordingly, they will fill up the GL. If it is a support project, when they are giving this, they will be giving us along with the GL account number, or you can take the GL account, because when you are configuring, it is a running series. We assumed bank GL account is always a running series. The next available number you have to take. When you're configuring, whatever is the next available 10th digit or the ending with 0, that number you will be taking here. After this, you will fill up the detailed bank address, bank name, city, street and all. Once you fill up all this information and share it with your client, according to this template, whatever you have given, they will fill the actual data and share it with you. By looking at this house bank template on the Excel sheet, you will be setting up house bank when you are in a project. Either you are in an implementation project or in a support project or any kind of a project, your house bank information is always given to you in this format, in the Excel format. Looking at the Excel sheet, you will just do a copy paste. Clear? If somebody is asking you how do you create house bank, always make sure you will share the house bank template with your client. They will provide the data in the house bank template. By looking at the template, you are going to set up house bank, because this is your client bank information. You do not know any of this information. In which bank they opened the account, what is the account number, what is the account holder name, what is the currency, account number, which GL account they want to map it. All this information you do not know, which means straight away you cannot set up this unless you have the correct bank account details. This bank account details you will receive it through house bank template. This template, as a consultant, you will prepare and you will share it with the client. Any questions?
Sir, where do we define the OD limit?
OD limit normally we don't define in the system. When you're creating the house bank, you don't have any option to put overdraft limit, because for the
And
overdraft it's a liability. So you will be creating a different GL account for it.
and like within the house, within the HDFC bank and the bank key, same IFC code, I have two accounts. So should I create two house banks or one is enough, sir?
Two you have to create. You
I
can
can
also
create
create
account
one.
modular, sir.
You can, option number one, you can create one house bank, two account IDs. Option number two, you can create two house banks, two account IDs. But it is always recommended you create a separate house bank, separate account ID.
Okay.
Okay, why we need to create separate house bank, separate account ID? You will understand practically when we do automatic payment program and when we do bank reconciliations. Only for these 2 points you have to create it separately. Otherwise, even if you create a single one, that is still fine.
Okay.
Alright, so what I want you to do, I'll share this sheet. I'll share this sheet now, and irrespective or without depending on the sheet that I am sharing, I want you to open FI12 screen. I want you to open FI12 screen and prepare a template. Now you understood how I prepared this template. I did nothing, I just put the headings or the field names of the FI12 screen and account ID creation screen, correct? First, you create a test house bank in your system, in your company code, put any dummy figures and then you create it. Once you are able to create, save successfully without any error, open the same screen again of your house bank, input all the field names in sequence like this. Take one fresh Excel sheet, input all the fields like this, write one by one, company code, house bank, country, and then you put a table for this. Something like this, you put table with all borders, and your headings will be blank, will be bold with a simple light color. Let's say I'll put any one light color like this. And then this is your test data. Test data is also in another light color. And this template is what you are going to share with your client. Your client will have to fill up this template and then they will share it back with you. Once you receive this template updated by the client, that is when you are going to fill up, that is when you are going to create the house bank in the system. Because initially you have to consider that you are in the implementation project. In the implementation project, as a consultant, you have to create everything, whether it is master data or it is a transaction data. In the initial project, it is your responsibility. When you're in the support project, that's a different story. Only house bank you will create, account ID and all will be created by the end user. You can also create it, but end user also can create the account ID. But always think from the implementation point of view, initially how you are going to set up the bank. In your interview, the focus is always on the implementation, how you are going to set up a bank in SAP. Nobody will put a question considering project is already live, you are on the support, how you are going to create this. Clear? Make sure you fill this template. Slowly, I'll tell you how you will be preparing the templates for different master datas. For GL account, how do you prepare a template? For cost center, cost element, various other master records, how do we prepare the template? It is not that now we have LTMC, you don't need the template. There is no rule that whatever the project you join, whatever the company that you join, they may be on ECC, they may be on S4HANA system. No rule that you will get into S4HANA project only. You may be allotted to any project. Make sure you cannot say that I know only S4HANA, I do not know ECC. You cannot say this. You can say I know only ECC, but I do not know S4HANA. This is a valid statement. Maybe the client that you are working till now is using only ECC. No way that you get exposure, no way that you get experience on S4HANA. Valid statement. You can tell this in your interview. You have not worked on S4HANA. But you cannot say that you do not know how we do it in ECC, which means in ECC there is no concept of LTMC. You must know how the templates are prepared, how the data is uploaded by preparing a manual template. Clear? Alright. So make sure you fill this template, fill at least 2 to 3 bank account details. In the next session, I will tell you, I will fill up the same template with the information and how we will be creating in the implementation project. And if you are in the support project, how you will create house banks, that also we will see. It's not about only the creation of a house bank. You will have to understand the way you create a house bank in the implementation is different. The way you create a house bank when you're in a support project is different. Because in the implementation time, you will consider only the house bank while creating the house bank. But when you're in the support project, along with the house bank, you have to consider automatic payment program. You have to consider bank reconciliations. APP and BRS are always shadow of your house bank. Whenever you are getting a request to add a new house bank, along with the house bank, you also need to look at the settings of APP. You also look at the settings of BRS when you are in the support project. When you are in the implementation project, you will create only the house bank as house bank because APP will be set up separately, BRS will be set up separately. But on the support, these two things you have to consider while creating the house bank itself. Otherwise, your config will be incomplete. Your client or your user cannot use your house bank without having the APP setup, without having BRS setup. Any questions?
Sir, I have a question on
Sir,
foreign
APP setup
currency.
is
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sir, in my client place, actually, our company code currency is INR, and as we know that they are dealing with the different currencies. Now, they wanted to pay in dollars, sir, due to avoid some exchange rate from dollar to JPY. They are going to pay. So, how we are going to account that one, sir?
What is your account currency?
Account? You mean document currency?
No, your bank account currency.
That, sir, till now it is INR only, that local bank there they used to pay. But what yesterday what they said, they are going to pay in USD. The bank agrees to pay in USD, and yeah, if we are paying to instruct bank to pay in USD, then they will convert that to JPY and they are going to pay in JPY.
So your bank account currency is INR, your client or your supplier currency is JPY.
Correct, sir. But to avoid that one, the supplier decided to pay in USD. From US to JPY, the bank is converting and giving.
So
You
when the bank is converting, are they converting in the dollar account or are they converting in INR account?
dollar account, sir, maybe.
Because first thing you need to look at that. If you're having INR
Sir,
account, bank
like
will
this, sir. See, document currency, if they have posted in USD, like how it will come, sir? Directly USD. And the conversion here in foreign currency evaluation, everything is converted to Indian rupee now, sir. So
correct.
what they wanted now, they wanted to create the bank document currency in USD, and the bank will convert directly USD to JPY. And there is no, they don't want to interfere that INR here. So in that case, how it will work and how to adjust?
You have treasury module implemented?
No, sir.
No? Yes.
No, sir. No.
So normally this is part of your currency swapping. There is not,
Okay.
if treasury module is there, there are different solutions from treasury side to do this currency swapping.
Mm-hmm.
So here what you have to do, if bank is, your account currency is INR.
Correct.
This is your bank account currency. Dollar is your document currency. Alright?
Correct, sir.
JPY is your payment currency.
Payment currency. Correct.
Now you want your bank to directly make JPY currency payment.
Correct, sir.
You want bank to make payment in JPY, and in your account, which currency the amount will be deducted? Is it the dollar or INR?
Dollar, sir. Dollar.
In your account, dollar cannot be deducted. If it is INR account, it will be INR only. So what it will do, whatever the dollars that it is taking, that dollar equivalent INR will get deducted.
Okay, sir.
If your account is
Sir,
INR, your bank
now
statement will be INR only.
since our company code currency is INR, it will take it as an INR only. Correct, now, sir?
No. I'm talking about your bank statement.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, when you receive the statement from the bank, or when the payment is initiated, let's say some 1000 JPY is paid from your bank account to the supplier. Now how bank is taking this 1000 JPY? It is taking some dollar, let's say some $800 is equivalent to 1000 JPY. Now this $800, if your account is INR, your account statement cannot have the US dollar deduction. What bank will have to do? They have to deduct 800 equivalent INR, let's say some 15,000. How this is reflecting in your banking, in your BRS, is what you have to understand first. So this information you will get from your user who is working on this banking operation.
Sir, here my direct question is, see, now if they wanted to convert directly from USD to JPY, then how the foreign currency evaluation happens, sir? Now, do I need to convert the paid amount with INR or dollar? And if so, um, that INR currency rate exchange fluctuation vary between INR and JPY. So in such cases, how to deal, sir?
When you do foreign currency valuation, system is always going ahead with document currency. In this case, if your document currency is a dollar, this is what your currency that you are posting.
Correct, sir.
You're posting your entry in dollar, your company code currency is INR. System will bring foreign currency or currency valuation based on dollar to INR.
The paying currency is JPY. That system will not consider that, or what, sir?
It will not consider. When you are making the payment, this is called as your settlement currency. When you make this payment, but in your company code, where is this JPY?
JPY is a document currency only, sir. Now, what they used to do, they used to pay in your INR, and the paying currency, I mean, document currency was INR, and they used to pay in JPY.
One second.
Due to that currency exchange, I mean, they need to save some money. So, for that reason, they are converting USD to JPY now.
Your document currency that you are posting in system is JPY now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is your company code currency?
INR.
Company code currency is INR. Okay. Now your payment currency is JPY.
JPY. Correct, sir.
Now in bank, what is happening? Your bank is making payment from INR account, right?
Yes.
So JPY is paid basis USD, correct?
Correct, sir.
So JPY is not paid using INR, correct?
Perfect, sir. Correct, sir.
Now USD is charged to INR. Is this correct?
Correct, sir.
Now, when this transaction is happening from your vendor account side, it is correct. When you say from vendor account side, your vendor will be receiving the payment in JPY. Even in your system, when you make the payment, you are putting the payment as JPY. This is your JPY payment currency. This is your document currency. System will not find any difficulty in clearing this. But when you receive the bank statement, additional points that you need to look at here is, what about your bank statement? Let's say this is the payment of some 1000 JPY, and you are making this payment from INR account. Agree?
Yes, sir.
INR bank account is used. In your bank statement, how this 1000 JPY is going to reflect? Is this going to reflect as JPY deduction or INR deduction? It cannot be JPY deduction. What system will
It is
do? It
INR.
will convert, correct. It will convert from the target currency, whatever system has taken, into the base currency of your account, which is INR.
Yes, sir. Perfect.
Now, when you do this, when you perform the BRS, when you perform bank reconciliation statement, you will not go by the currency, you will go by some key field. Either you will go by, now this is a bank transfer. For the bank transfer, you have transfer reference number or transaction reference number.
Yes, sir.
You will have transaction reference number. This transaction reference number you will have to use for clearing your bank reconciliation entries. If your question is related to foreign currency valuation, if your question is related to automatic payment program, if your question is related to BRS, if your question is related to foreign currency valuation, system will still consider this as foreign currency valuation because your transaction is posted in non-local currency, which is a foreign currency, correct?
Correct, sir.
Now, if you do not want this to be, you want this to be valuated or you don't want this to be valuated?
Sir, I want this to be evaluated, but what is the impact? And the scenario one is what you written in the second scenario, that is, and another scenario maybe that we have USD dollar account here. So from that they are paying directly to the JPY, and my company code currency is INR. Then how we are going to show that in SAP?
Now, hold on. When you say USD dollar account, you have another bank account with the dollar account?
Yes, sir.
Then this is wrong. You have INR bank account and USD bank account. So you are making payment from dollar account, not from INR account.
Correct, sir. They have
You are making
opened
the
new
payment.
account in dollar, sir. Now they are open new account in dollar, but that our company code currency is INR. So they're asking me how to account this and what is the impact and how to show this.
It is straightforward. So how they are making the payment, automatic payment program.
Yes, sir. ABP, automatic payment.
Now you have configured this new house bank.
I need to do, sir, next month.
Okay, when you do automatic payment program configurations, you have
Bank currency. I should mention there is as USD, correct, no, sir?
correct. Now, when you maintain this here, first thing you need to put here is foreign business partner allowed or foreign currency allowed. When you put this, only then system will take other than your local currency transactions into APP. If you don't put this, it will not consider the transactions which are posted apart from INR.
Okay.
Okay. If you don't put, it will take only the local currency transactions. If you want foreign currency transactions to be paid, you need to put this. Foreign payments, foreign currency payments. This you have to enable. Next one, in the payment method, let's say whatever you have. Here you have currencies allowed.
Sir.
In this, if you want this dollar payment method to be used only for the US dollar transactions, then you'll have to put a dollar here. If you put any currency here, only that currency is used for this payment method. Currently, there is only INR here.
Yeah.
If you run the automatic payment program with payment method dot, it will not take any transaction apart from INR. But if this is blank, let's say I'll remove this. If this is blank, you can make the payment using any currency. You can use one payment method. This payment method will use all the transactions of all the currencies. Based on the house bank mapping, it will pick the respective bank account for initiating the payment. In your ranking order, you are going to update this point. In the ranking order, you are going to put payment method and then the house bank against each currency.
Yes, sir.
If your payment currency is dollar, let's say you have given the house bank as DB, it is going to deduct the payment from DB.
Okay.
So it will take your payment currency based on the document currency. If the invoice is in dollar, it will look for the respective or the relevant bank account in dollar only. Here, let's say if this is the dollar, this is going to deduct payment from this bank. If you have, let's say, another currency, DEM, let's say for this, DRE is the house bank. For that, this bank account will be used. For the dollar, this bank account will be used. Option number 1, you can use both currency payments in single payment run. Option number 2, you can run for INR local payments a separate payment run. For foreign currency payments a separate payment run. It is up to you.
Yes, sir.
Clear, but normally all the foreign currency payments are executed separately.
Sir, I'm clear about this, how to do the payment. But when we do the foreign currency evaluations, that we have converted from dollar to JPY now, sir. From dollar to JPY, the conversion may differ than from INR to USD. So how the system will react for this, sir? Will it consider INR to
System,
USD?
no. When you are making the payment in your system, are you going to pass the payment in JPY? What will be your payment document currency?
Payment document currency. Document currency is USD, sir, as I said. Then we convert that to JPY.
No, when you're clearing the payment in JPY. Let's say when you go to F-53, when you're making the payment to supplier, which currency are you going to put this, JPY or dollar?
JPY.
If you're going to put this JPY here, the dollar is the exchange conversion which is happening offline, only within the bank.
Correct, sir.
So that whatever bank is doing the conversion, that you have no accounting in the SAP. SAP
Correct, sir.
will
Correct.
take into consideration only when you type dollar here. If you don't put dollar here, system will not know that you are converting dollar to JPY. So if your invoice is JPY, if your payment is JPY, this is normal payment. Okay, if your invoice
Correct.
is JPY, if your payment is dollar, this is called as cross currency payment.
Huh.
Okay, this cross currency payment is the realized transaction, not unrealized. Unrealized transaction is when you perform the foreign currency valuation. When you perform the foreign currency valuation, system is always going to consider your transaction currency and it will verify with your local currency. Dollar will not come into picture.
Okay, sir.
Okay, dollar will not come into picture. It will evaluate the foreign currency differences only in the local currency always.
So how, sir? This is what my confusion, sir. So how, what I should tell? See, the three conversion should happen. That actually, but system, I don't have any conversion between USD to JPY.
No,
Then
simply you ask your client user to give them the financial impact that they are expecting. What financial impact that they are expecting with this transaction in the accounting.
okay, sir.
Because they will have some expectation. They will tell that when we convert from JPY to or JPY to dollar or dollar to JPY, whatever the currency, INR to JPY, at each currency conversion level, they will have some financial impact. There are some financial charges levied on each transaction at each conversion.
Correct, sir. Correct.
Now, their concern may be how do we account these conversion charges or exchange rate charges. They will have the charges breakdown. Let's say when we do this transaction from JPY to dollar or from JPY to or from INR to dollar, they have the currency equations from which currency to which currency you are buying and selling, and finally how you are settling to the vendor. At each level, there will be some financial charges. For these charges, they will tell you the breakup. At this level, we will incur this amount. At this level, we will incur this amount. But in our bank statement, we are getting only this amount. The remaining amount is not part of bank statement or bank will charge us separately. If they want to account this, while for calculating your exchange rate differences based on your client expectation of the financial impact, you will decide what to do.
Okay, sir. Understood.
First, we need to understand the financial implications or the financial flow of their expectation, what accounting they want to do, and what is the monetary impact that they are getting according to the transaction point of view from the bank perspective.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I'll
based
gather
on that, you
that
will
info.
decide what to do. Yeah, just gather
Okay.
that information and let me know. I'll tell you what next to do.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions? No questions. All right, then let me stop this recording.